I'm going to list a few other reasons why I love Victorian terraced houses.
Oh, you're back on the Victorian houses.
That is what
I think you love them more you love me.
This is what this episode is about.
I've
I said I've been out
enthusiastic about anything for years.
Well, certainly not about my football team at the moment, that's for sure. Right, where was I? Yeah, Victorian terraces. Right. Yeah, so we're looking at new builds versus terraces. I think we've looked at the numbers. We've looked at a lot of the reasons why we don't encourage investors to do new builds.
Well, do you know what? We can just sit down and run the numbers with them, and the numbers will just show them why they shouldn't be buying it. But
okay, are there any instances apart from flipping new builds where new builds could be a good thing then?
Well, if I was the developer building the new builds, then yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, if you're going to get into new builds, be the developer.
Yeah.
Okay, that is, I think, the rule. And as I said, unless you're very niche and you really understand a particular market for flipping new builds on, but be aware that you are very vulnerable to market conditions. But otherwise, yeah, be the developer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you make money in new build, be the developer.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so just a couple of things on Victorian terraces. I love them. There's loads of them. Okay, so if you're looking at building a portfolio, I mean, you can generally build a portfolio over a few streets, a handful of streets. If I look at our Birmingham HMOs and our Liverpool ones, they're all within about 200 metres of each other.
Yeah. Well, we've got properties on the same road, and I get confused about all the different numbers on the roads, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, you don't do detail.
Yeah. How many on that street do we have? I don't know. Apparently, if you own all the properties on the street, you can rename the street. Just an FYI.
I don't think you need to own all of them. I think it's 2/3, isn't it?
Oh, that's
I don't think you need to own them all. Yeah, I don't think you need to own them all. But that's one to. Well, I'll chat GPT that later. Find out.
Okay, let's do that.
But yeah, so for investors looking at Victorian terraced houses are great. When I'm out mentoring out on the streets, wherever I am in the country, generally, we always go look at Victorian terraces because they make great buy-to-lets. They're easy to revalue. They're easy to value them because you look at them and they're the same. You get a street of 100, 200 houses on it, and they're all pretty much the same. So if you're renovating one, what the end value is going to be because you'll find one very close by that probably has been renovated. So it's very easy to do your comparisons of a done-up value, find your done-up values. Same with rents. A 3-bed terrace on one street is going to rent for the same as a 3-bed terrace further down that street or on that street. So it makes your life as an investor much easier when you buy something that is quite uniform. Same thing in Scotland. It's not Victorian builds, but it's more kind of 50s, 60s builds, the local authority type builds. Same thing. Yeah, they're all built in streets and streets and streets, all of the same thing. They value similar, they rent similar. Makes your life really, really easy. The thing I see a lot of, again, newbie investors coming in, they want to do something different or quirky. They start looking at, church conversions and things like that. I know, stop doing that. Don't do that. Don't buy churches. Go and look at standard Victorian terraced houses, 2 up, 2 downs, 3 up, 2 downs. People love them. People love to rent them. People love to buy them. It makes your life so much easier as an investor. So that's why I love them.
Average houses for average people that will pay average prices.
Yeah. But I said versatility, a good 3-bed terrace in the right place can be an HMO as well. They're easy to extend. You can go up into the loft. You can go out the back because they have gardens. So you can turn a 3-bed terrace. I've seen 3-bed terraces being turned into 10-bedroom student HMOs.
It's brilliant.
Cash flow machines. So that's why I love them.
That just makes me want to do a HMOs in Scotland versus England. And obviously I don't want to do a Scotland versus England podcast episode because that could get messy. But there are definitely strategies that lend themselves better to south of the border than it does north of the border. And you saying terraced houses converting into HMOs, just to clarify, we are talking generally south of the border for that.
Generally, yeah. Just because of without going into a geography lesson.
Or the fact that England, blah, blah.
Let's not get into Scotland v England because that's gonna end badly.
For you mainly.
Right, so have we done that? New builds versus Victorian terraces. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we have,
we've
haven't
done
we?
it. We've done it. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
look, uh, if you want me to expose who is being naughty in the marketplace trying to sell new builds on the back of a property education business, DM me on Instagram. If you want us to do a session on running the numbers on how to see if a deal actually stacks up or not, then again, let us know on our Facebook community, Property Wealth System community page. You know our website where it is. You can actually even apply on our website for a consultation call. So with an actual investor to sit down and have a chat with you about your investing, your portfolio, and the best plan moving forward. So that's available for all of our listeners that tune into this podcast.